Once upon a time in medieval England, the year was 1164 to be exact, King Henry II was having a bit of a problem. His son, the young Prince Richard, was getting married that year to an Austrian princess, and Henry was looking for a spectacular wedding gift for the happy couple. No pressure, really, so he did what any reasonable king would do. He set his sights on procuring a mermaid, you know, like the mythical sea creature with the head of a human and the body of a fish. And not just any mermaid, mind you, but one that would be willing to marry his son. Talk about a royal pain in the royal posterior. Henry dispatched his royal court across the Channel to France with orders to find him a bride from the deep. But why, why did this king want a mermaid for a daughter-in-law? Well, to find out, we've got to take a little journey back in time to the 12th century. Henry II ruled over England, Ireland, and parts of France during what is now known as the High Middle Ages. This was a time when religion played a central role in daily life and when the line between the earthly and the divine was often blurred. Superstitions were widespread, and the king was no exception. In fact, he was downright obsessed with maritime legends, you know, the kind of stories that made sailors and fishermen shiver with fear and excitement in equal measure. Henry was particularly taken with the myths surrounding mermaids, those alluring creatures who were said to inhabit the murky depths of the ocean. Some said they were the daughters of the devil, while others claimed they were the souls of women who had drowned at sea. But despite their somewhat sinister reputation, mermaids were also seen as symbols of good luck and fertility, and that's exactly what Henry was after. His obsession began, innocently enough, with the king commissioning a number of paintings and tapestries depicting mermaids and other sea creatures. But it soon became clear that he wanted something more tangible, more real than any artwork could provide. He began to ask his royal court to bring him actual mermaid, alive if possible, and rumors began to spread of a grand plan to marry one to his son. Now, you might be thinking that this is all just a fanciful, if somewhat disturbing fairy tale. After all, mermaids aren't real, are they? Well, not so fast. It turns out that many people in medieval Europe, including some of the most powerful and influential people around, really did believe that mermaids were real. There were plenty of books and pamphlets written during the Middle Ages claiming to have seen these mythical creatures up close and personal. And it wasn't just common folk who believed in mermaids, Henry II included. The king was well educated and had access to some of the best scholars in Europe. Yet he remained convinced that mermaids were real and that one could be his son's bride. Of course, there was one tiny, itty-bitty problem. Mermaids live in the sea, you know, like several miles beneath the surface where sunlight can't reach and where even the most intrepid sailor fears to tread. Plus, they're supposed to be elusive and mysterious creatures, not exactly known for their willingness to, you know, settle down and start a family. But Henry was undeterred. He was, after all, the King of England. And what were the odds that a bunch of French fishermen were going to tell him no? Now, we don't know exactly how far Henry's plan got, if his court actually managed to capture a mermaid or merman before the king changed his mind. But what we do know is that the story quickly took on a life of its own. Its chroniclers and gossips had a field day with the tale, and soon everyone in Europe knew of Henry's bizarre obsession. Some said he was mad, while others claimed he was simply desperate to secure a powerful alliance through marriage. Whatever the truth, the story of Henry II and the mermaid has become a thing of legend. It's been immortalized in books, films, and even a 19th century opera. So next time you hear someone claim that mermaids aren't real, just break your royal fin and point them toward the nearest library. After all, who knows what kind of weird, wonderful, and sometimes scary things might be hiding beneath the waves and in the dusty old books that tell their tales.